Matt Gaetz, a better lover.
Big Kel and Kahuna podcast.
What's today, the 3rd? Yeah.
It's the 4th.
Is the 4th?
May the 4th be with
May the
you.
4th. Okay, ready?
May the 4th, episode 20, 420.
All right, welcome. Oh, you got everything lined up, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Cameras lined up?
Yeah, camera's recording.
Looks like that. All right.
That's why there's a big red button. That means it's recording.
All right, then let me fix my mic. Okay, ready?
I already did that too.
All right, welcome. Episode 20 of Big Kel
and Kahuna.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Alec. We need to change up our
intro. And
something
today
like
is
Powers.
May 4th. So, Alec, let me be the first to officially say, May the 4th be with you.
It needs to be with Bob Iger because they're messing up every Star Wars show over there.
Yeah, I've been seeing there's some of them that look, I don't even want to look at.
Did you see that?
Is that Andor any good? I thought that guy already died, though.
The first season was okay. Apparently there's a
But isn't he dead? Is this a prequel?
I don't know. But apparently there's a rape scene in this season.
Oh.
It's the first rape scene in Star Wars.
In Disney? I'll have to
Did you see the South Park episode where they make fun of Disney?
No.
And Cartman pretends to be an executive and says, "Put a chicken in, make it gay."
Yeah, I've seen that one.
That's their formula.
You know who I was seeing the other day? It was just, there goes one of the cats. Because we're riffing a little bit, which is cool.
Just talk about TV. We can do that for an hour.
I was watching. I got to watch this tonight. Maybe I get your mom to watch it because we're trying to watch some older movies. I want to watch Tropic Thunder.
That's a great movie.
Because I just watched the scene this morning when I was out having coffee with the dogs on the porch, which I think is one of the funniest scenes of the whole movie. When
Tom Cruise's character.
Well, that's the second funniest, and that's what I was going to get to. But the funniest scene was Robert Downey Jr. telling Ben Stiller not to go full retard.
Yeah, you would never want to go full retard.
And how he explained it, and how he says the Academy Award doesn't like it, and they used the Rain Man.
He's like Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Forrest Gump didn't go full retard.
No.
Simple Jack, you were full retard, man.
They were saying the thing about the Rain Man.
Rain Man, kind of
with numbers, autistic. Not retarded, but autistic.
I think he said kind of retarded, but not full retarded.
And he said, Tom Hanks, he goes, but he was a war hero and he got a medal from Nixon. Got full retard. and he saw Sean Penn, I'm Sam, full retard. They didn't like that.
Yeah,
so
I never saw that
funny.
movie.
Oh, he was terrible.
Sean Penn went full retard for real?
He went full retard. It was terrible. No. They were dead on. And
Team
then,
America World Police made fun of him.
But then when they did the movie exec, and it was Tom Cruise, and he was dancing, and Bill Hader was in there with a little cameo role.
All right, Red Dragon, take that and literally fuck your own face.
And then he danced.
It took me 2 or 3 times watching that movie to realize that was Tom Cruise. That's how stupid
really?
I was. Yeah.
Oh, I got that right away.
That was good. And then Matthew McConaughey is like, you didn't get TiVo? They didn't get you your fucking TiVo?
Yeah, he was playing a little hump. So that was a good movie.
He's playing fucking Wii tennis while he's talking to Simple Jack.
Yeah, Simple Jack.
And then all the Asians making him do Simple Jack.
Yeah. Did you ever watch that Nick Nolte movie I told you about?
My brain no good no more.
Where he was in that World War II movie?
No.
You got to watch that. You got to find the name of it and watch it. It's worth watching.
Team America World Police is a good one to rewatch, but I don't think Mom would like it.
Nah, she wouldn't like that one. All right, so...
hold on, one more thing. You need to watch that documentary I sent you on the southern border.
Okay.
As it stands right now.
No, I'll watch that.
That was really good.
That won't be a problem.
Because he talks with the sheriff, so the sheriff just says whatever the hell he wants.
No, and they probably... Well, I mean, listen, I really don't care what people's political opinion is on immigration. You need to talk to the people that are affected the most.
Yeah.
And a border town sheriff whose county's right on the border.
Yeah.
In Texas.
Because he's from...
Or Arizona.
So he's from Yuma, Arizona. And one thing he mentioned that I didn't know about was that when the immigrants were coming, Yuma provides the United States with 90% of their produce during the winter. Lettuce and everything.
I didn't know that.
And the migrants would come over, or the immigrants, or illegal aliens, is what I think they are, and shit in the fields, and throw trash in the fields.
Oh, that's great.
So they contaminated the fucking crops, so they had to plow over them.
That's terrible.
That's the guy said that's the only reason the Biden administration got involved, because they came up to them and said, "Hey, you want your food in the winter? Look at what's happening."
Yeah. Well, maybe that's unfortunate. That's real unfortunate.
And then he was saying the cartels would like drop a Indian family in the middle of fucking nowhere to get all the resources over there. So then they just smuggle the fentanyl through someplace near the city.
Of course. Well, that's what you always do, is deception, and you get people chasing the different things.
I wish I want to see special forces go down there and wipe the fucking floor with the Mexican cartels.
The government told them no yesterday, I think, or maybe this morning. Yeah, there was some kind of incursion, I think, with the cartels, and
They've been doing Reaper drones
and the
down
U.S.
there.
government said we'll be happy to send our military in and take care of them, and the Mexican president said no.
All right, well maybe we need to do a false flag down there.
No, something eventually going to happen. The cartels have a squeeze on Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
They're everywhere.
The new Jalisco cartel.
They're in everything.
CMG or some shit.
Those guys, it's going to come to a head.
It all fucking fractured after El Chapo.
No. It was different.
It was a little fractured.
He only had
during El
he
Chapo
only had
and-
one of the 5 gangs. He
and
just happened to
Escobar's
be
time.
the biggest by far. But
Yeah, Escobar's.
Escobar
I gotta respect
wasn't-
Escobar.
But he wasn't cartel. He's just a supplier.
Yeah, but I gotta respect him. He was on Forbes' top 10 list at one
No,
point.
I mean the guy did it. He just what you want to look at is there was another cat they talked about whose distribution network was almost as big, but they didn't know who the dude was.
That's how it should be.
He was silent for
That's
like
good.
15, 20 years. They knew somebody was running it because they knew what they were doing. They just didn't know. They caught him though. The DA got it.
I like the guy. Did you hear about Silk Road on the dark web? So in the early 2000s, when the dark web first started becoming a thing, when Bitcoin was starting to become a thing too. And I thought I think I told you, I'm not going to make the claim of like, oh, I told you to buy Bitcoin in 2008. Look where we could have been. But Silk Road was this online marketplace for any type of computer hack you want, any type of technology. They had passports, credit cards, IDs, guns, and every drug you can think of. And the guy who came up with it, his name was Ross Ulrich. They caught him like 20 years after the fact because he was, I think, in Thailand. And they had to figure out a way to get him away from his computer without turning it off because he had a dead man switch. So if they pulled up, he could delete everything immediately. So I think they honeypotted him.
Oh, I'm sure.
But that shit's really cool. And the whole idea behind that is very, very major libertarian. Like libertarian to the nth degree. Because libertarians think the government should have no control over what they put in their body. If I want to, mainline cocaine, that's my prerogative. So that's what he believes.
Yeah, it's fine, except for the fact that the cocaine's illegal.
Do you see the guy?
So that's where the problem comes.
I think he's in Washington. He's running for office. He proposed to give the homeless people all the fentanyl-laced drugs they want. He said that.
Well,
Which will like kill them off immediately. He's like, hey, if they want to do it, I'll give it to them. Solves 2 problems.
But hold on a second. That's not too much unlike that one show we liked, that we really liked it.
What show?
The end of the first season of The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
When he let all the drug addicts hang out in this one section. To do whatever you want in there. We don't care. No police. Look.
That's kind of what they did in Chaz
If it
or
takes
Chop.
Yeah, but
and then they killed a kid, so they had to all stop that.
Yeah, but
I'm cool with that.
If they all want to fry themselves and kill themselves, I got no problem.
Joe Rogan has talked about it. I don't know why, but he's very adamant about legalizing cocaine.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I do think they need to change the schedule. Make it a Schedule A instead of a C, or a C instead of an A?
Schedule 4,
for
Schedule
marijuana.
1, Schedule 1.
That's a Schedule 1?
Yeah.
That should be a
Which is
Schedule
the highest,
3 or
yeah.
a 5, right?
It's classified the same by the government as like heroin than
Yeah,
crystal meth.
it shouldn't be. Because that's up there with meth and heroin and
That's what I
coke.
just
Cocaine
said,
is
yeah.
actually a lower classification.
Cocaine's Schedule 2.
Right.
Crack is Schedule 1.
Yeah.
I think.
But weed's 1 and coke's 2. That
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
I think here, if I had to list off some drugs I'm just going to do for medicinal purposes, but as easily attainable
Yeah.
as like marijuana is. MDMA, Molly, ecstasy, is really great for PTSD.
Then I'm sure a physician could prescribe that.
They do prescribe it, but it should be used for veterans.
Well, that's up to a physician to
Ketamine
prescribe.
is good for PTSD
And you don't even
depression that can't be medicated
You
away.
can get that shit online through an online doctor.
Yeah, you can get ketamine online
Yeah.
delivered. I've thought about doing
know.
it because ketamine, I've heard, is
Well, it's supposed
one
to,
of the best.
It's supposed to give you like a brainwash. That's why that light system we have has that. I want to try it.
For a
'cause it's
couple
supposed to wash
for
your
a couple
brain.
weeks to a month after, you're like upbeat and happy.
Yeah, because it
nicer to
washes
people.
your brain.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Psilocybin mushrooms should be medicinal, I think.
Yeah, well, you could take lion's mane now.
Yeah, psychedelic ones. Psilocybin is
Well,
the psychedelic
but
mushrooms.
if you're just chasing a psychedelic, I'm just watching the dog. A psychedelic trip, that's different.
But no,
If it-
psilocybin
if
helps
it's-
with PTSD and
if
trauma
it helps
too.
other stuff.
Because it helps you unlock shit in your childhood. It's good for like people who got raped and
Hey, that I don't know.
abused.
I'd have to do some
because
research.
it helps them face it in an alternative manner.
I was listening to these longevity guys. Like if I won a shitload of money, we're talking, like 25 million plus.
Okay.
I would do this one triple therapy these guys were talking about. Of course, I could even do it now and then really get vigilant about diet, exercise, the red light, the sauna.
Dude, if I had
Hold on a
25
second.
million...
Let me tell you what it is. And then for a year and do it. But there's 3 things they do with the blood.
Transfusions?
Well, they're kind of like it. The first one is they hook you to a machine and they'll run all your blood out and through.
And clean it.
And what it does is there's these super filters on it,
Uh-huh.
and it pulls out all the PFAs, and so it gets out your heavy metals, it gets out all the plastics, it leaves all this like
All right,
sludgy shit.
what are the other 2?
So then after that, then you go into blood ionization where they take it all out again, and then they ionize you and they super oxygenate you, and then they put it back in. And then the third one I heard today when I was listening to Natalie Niddam's longevity one, she had this dude on that was talking about, and this would really interest you, exosomes, which are the beneficial component of stem cells. So people
That's why stem cells are...
So people
do what they do.
Yeah, so they say when you get to stem cells, now the myth that
Is there adrenochrome?
that if you put the stem cell in your knee, it's going to regrow cartilage.
No.
It doesn't regrow specific stuff. Now they say the benefit of the stem cell is that it only lasts like 48 hours, no more than 72, 2-3 days max. Sometimes just
then
one
it's this
day.
exosome
But
stuff
the
that does it.
exosomes that it releases is what it is. So this guy's got serums that are just the exosomes.
Okay.
So he does.
Is that legal here?
Yeah, he's got like
'Cause stem cells aren't
6
really legal here.
No,
which
but-
is stupid.
But he says you don't even need it because he says what they do
just
is
get what stem cells excrete.
Yeah, so they got stem cells growing all over the place, and every 3 days they pull the water and they got all the exosomes. And
Well,
he
shit,
says,
how much does that cost?
I'm going to research it, but there's
Fucking just
5
do that.
locations. But you could do it. You could do it for anything, from if you have an acute injury like a bust up knee or ankle, to if you have just take it and it repairs your
I
old
wonder
stuff.
if adrenochrome has those in them.
And here's the thing with the exosomes, it's not perceived as a foreign body. So, for example, they were saying that if you took a kidney and you got a kidney transplant, that's a foreign body, you got to take meds. So your body won't try to kill it.
That's good.
And that's the component pieces of everything growing is the exosome.
Well, then just fucking get those.
So I'm going to take a look at that.
Did you
too.
ever watch Silicon Valley
Yeah.
all the way through?
Yeah. All the
You know, the
those
CEO
guys.
of Hulu, Gavin
Yeah.
Belson?
Yeah.
You know how he had like a blood boy?
Mm-hmm.
Who he would supposedly be healthy so he could get blood transfused from
Yeah,
him.
and he was a big old drug addict,
He was
wasn't
a
he?
drug addict who was like eating a shit ton of junk food.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and he busted the blood boy, and the blood boy just wanted to like
Yeah, he's like,
do
I have
business work
I have
or
a
something?
degree from MIT. Like, what the hell am I doing here? I should be coding.
Yeah, I remember that. All right, listen, a
There's
couple
that
things.
other guy who does that too. He just stopped the
Brian
medicine
Williams,
recently
yeah.
because he said it actually was aging him rapidly.
And he would take transfusions from
Something he thought was a de-ager was aging him
his
rapidly.
20-year-old son or something.
Yeah.
All right, listen, hey, two things
He
on
got
Formula One.
platelets from his son.
The first one you saw, so we're gonna watch the race in a little bit. but
Miami races
in the qualifying, Max looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
That car held up.
Yeah. He's
You were concerned about that.
well. I am concerned because he has to drive perfectly.
Yeah, we'll
or
explain
near-
that. So
near
try
perfect.
to recap that conversation we were
Oh,
having
the thing I
last
tried
night.
to explain to you
Yeah. So-
yesterday when you
so
told me to shut the fuck up.
Well, no, I knew what you were saying, but I'll let you say it again. But try to keep it under 2 minutes and move it
Oh,
along.
I keep it under 30 seconds. So look back at Red Bull 5 years ago, the year before they won the championship, when they were fighting with Mercedes. They were engineering the hell out of that car to get it to surpass Mercedes. And then the subsequent year, when they won the first championship, it had been engineered. So over the span of the next 3 years, when Max won all 4 championships, they were over-engineering it to fine-tune it to his driving style.
Yeah.
Which is why other Red Bull drivers suck in comparison, because it's not tuned for them.
Well,
and
it's set
I
up
think
for him,
this
yeah.
year they screwed up somehow, and McLaren has an advantage. One reason being the Flex DRS system they have that's going to get banned in a couple races. But they over-engineered the shit out of the car to get it to the point where it is now to compete with McLaren. And you can even see it now. Red Bull's not that good in slow-speed corners. They've never really been the cornering car. They've been the straight-line speed car.
Right.
But that's showing you why Yuki Tsunoda is having such an issue. And so is Liam Lawson. Because the car is so specific. That was it. That's all I was trying to say yesterday.
So
the car is heavily... He's driving it like on a razor's edge
yeah,
to get it there. And then
no.
you can have someone like Piastri or Norris who can do like 95% and get an equal time.
Yeah, because their car is better suited for them. So the interesting thing, so I asked you to say that because I was listening to something today, which I don't know how I missed, but they were talking about how there's a new rule in 26 that says you can't have multiple teams under one ownership, which means the Visa Cash App team's got to be sold before the start of 26.
And Haas.
Yeah. Why Haas?
Because Haas is owned by Ferrari.
I thought Haas was American owned.
Well, they're American owned, but they get all their shit from Ferrari.
No, that's different. That's different. So this is the only one this affects is Red Bull.
Oh, just because they have like their sister team?
Yeah. So then I listened to the story how they talked about.
Can they still pull drivers from them next year? I'm sure they can.
No, they'd be.
Because you saw Valtteri
Can I
Bottas is a
finish?
reserve driver for 3 teams.
Yeah, but they sign up different agreements. So let me finish. So what they were saying is Red Bull has an unfair advantage because they have
twice as many racers.
a driver maturation system that they're building. They get twice as much road data, race data, and everything else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, makes sense. But then I listened to the argument where they said that, and I didn't know this. They went back to the beginning. The Racing Bull, the Red Bull team.
Toro Rosso.
No. The Red Bull team in 2010 bought Jaguar, which had a shitload of money, and they bought them dirt cheap, and that was Red Bull. Then in 2014,
They started getting Honda shit.
was it? I think it was the Honda or the Nissan team, which crapped out, and there was nobody interested in buying in 2014, and F1 wasn't doing that well, so Red Bull bought it and made it the Toro Rosso in 2014. So they bailed out F1. So the point I'm trying to
They
make
bailed
is
out 2 shit
they
teams.
bailed them out. they took over 2 shit teams.
That's capitalism,
They developed the 2014.
Yeah,
so
legal.
10 years ago, they did you a favor, but now it's
Now
like,
you're out,
we got to
you're
break
banning
it out.
That's stupid.
So then, when I looked at the totality of it, I'm like, ah. However, then they went into this little piece about how Porsche was on a deal with Williams, but
Porsche's been trying to get in for 10
Williams
years.
wouldn't brand it right, so they broke that deal. Then they said they were trying to do something with Cadillac, and that didn't work.
That fell through.
And now they said Porsche would be the perfect suitor for the Visa Cash App team.
Fuck yeah, why
Because
not? Sell
they-
that shit to Porsche for a ton of money.
I didn't know they developed a V12 engine to put in that thing.
Oh yeah, did you see that car they run
Last year.
That car they run on Le Mans, dude. It's built off of that. That
Yeah.
car is insane.
So they said
That's faster than IndyCar.
They said they could put it in there right away.
dude,
So
I was watching IndyCar before I came down here for a little bit,
I hate
and
that.
that was the only. It was a track in Alabama that looked
I
like a
saw it.
legitimate
I was
track.
watching it. I
Kind of
didn't
looked like
it.
Catalina.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it. It's just banking turns
Yeah.
at their turniest circuit. There's no chicanes.
No.
None
You know-
of that.
you know
And
what I
their
was
top
watching?
Speed, real quick, their top speed at the track is only 173.
Yeah. So I was watching, and this was, I didn't like it. The Formula E race
Yeah.
in Monaco.
Doesn't do it for me. Oh, they all fucking crashed it last year.
No. But yeah, but not this one. When we were watching it, I was trying to tell your mom. After the first lap, they started it. So it was in the first lap
None
too.
of them are going to overtake.
But they start the second lap. They're all single file. They're all like 8 feet behind
It's
the
like a
guy in
train.
front. Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So all 20 cars are in a quick train.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way in hell that would happen in Formula One.
No.
Not everybody that close and right up everybody's ass, which then leads me to believe.
How standardized is the car or the racers?
So this is my only then observation. And this is why I love Formula One even more. Formula One, the driver is getting the max out of that car. A good driver like Verstappen or Piastri or Lando or Leclerc.
Yeah, that's what pisses me off about
Even
Formula E.
Hamilton at times,
Formula E, they
or-
have to manage their battery and shit.
or Russell.
So they're not going 100%.
If you give them a good car with a good setup, a good driver can make more.
Yes.
Watching Formula E, none of them drivers can get to the maximum of those vehicles.
No, because they're
too
managing.
fast.
They're managing everything. They're
Yeah.
managing all their systems.
No, but they're
So
too.
if they max everything out and push to the
No,
limit,
but I
they'll
mean, the
fuck
cars.
themselves.
I don't think they can drive it continuously at full speed. I think it's too much car for them.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
then
no, they just have, like I said, they have to manage their battery. All
No,
the
I'm
shit.
not talking about them running out of juice. What I'm talking about is that car is too fast for them. So the race then is to the ability of the driver to get the most out of the car. Where in Formula One, they get the most out of the car. I don't think they get the most of those. Those Formula E cars are quick.
I'm curious to see if all those Formula E teams have the same budget.
They
'Cause
got to be close.
You know, F1 teams, the budget is based off of a lot of factors.
Well, if they have the money, they could spend it, but you can't
there's a
spend
cap.
a certain amount more than the year before.
There's a cap, and then you get allocations based off of how you placed the previous year.
No, but you can only spend so much, and then I don't think you could spend more than 130% of what you spend each year.
Yeah,
and
maybe.
then once you get to the cap, then they let you
But I think
go over the cap
I-
based on performance,
an
right?
example is Ferrari, I think, has a budget 3 times the size of Haas. So it just goes to show.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
very fascinated by Formula One. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll get shit for it. I think NASCAR is gay. NASCAR sucks.
well, I won't call it gay, but it
And
definitely
IndyCar
is
is-
definitely not.
IndyCar is better, but IndyCar's not. I'll take endurance over Indy. I'll take F2 over IndyCar. You know? But Le Mans is a cool one. What other endurance tracks? Do
I
they
like the
do?
Paris to Dakar rally myself. Road races. I like road races.
Their enduro bike ones are cool too.
Yeah.
TT Island, man.
You
is
know what's a
great.
good thing to watch once in a while is a good motocross race.
Motocross.
Those guys are wicked good.
Yeah.
And you know what else is good? Is a good BMX race.
Yeah. It's
Guys
cool
on the
seeing
bikes.
them go over the bumps and shit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But yeah, going in a circle, just making left turns. Not
Yeah.
interested.
All right, well, let's see. We don't have too much going on in the world of politics. We got the budget out.
Oh, we do. We
All the
got
tax plans coming.
Elon Musk stepped down after the 100 days. So we had, I mean, we do
Well, he
have,
had to do it within 130.
we
if I'm
do
not
have
mistaken.
shit going on because I think a couple days ago was Trump 100-day marks. And all the liberals online are crying, like saying he didn't do shit. He secured the border. He's deported a ton of people who are here illegally. He's doing these trade wars, which are coming to fruition with tariffs. We found out that China is absolutely shit in the bed. The Ukraine war is coming to an end. And we got the mineral deal done.
Mhm.
So if you thought the Ukraine war was for free, all the money we gave Ukraine, you're a retard. You're stupid. Sorry. I
So
should have said
what's
retard.
interesting with the tariffs, if you look at what the stock market was the day before he announced the tariffs, we crested back over that Friday afternoon.
Well, there you go. It's the
So
same
within a
thing with the
month-
whole bullshit about the price of eggs.
So within a month, we're back to the same in the market.
Are these people just
And-
parroting?
And you got all these different tariff
Are,
agreements
the,
and
are
trade
these people
agreements coming.
parroting lies, or have they been manipulated into
No,
believing the
both.
shit they say is true?
Both.
It's just, it is a mental illness.
And if I hear
It's
and,
delusions.
and we saw this up on the Fox thing before we came down. If I hear one more liberal pundit say it's not what he's doing,
It's how
it's
he's
the
doing
way he's doing it.
Shut the fuck up.
You know what? Kiss my ass.
You're a crybaby.
I hear that all the time. I heard it with your grandma first, and now all these liberal people. Now it's because he's doing well. It's not what he does; it's how he does it.
If he was
I'm
gonna,
like, you got to stop.
But if he was gonna act like a pussy, he wouldn't be able to get this shit done.
Look, man, what they don't get, this is all negotiations. All right? He's got
all
all this
mind games.
big tax bill coming, but he's doing it legislatively so it lasts.
Yeah.
Look, how could you be against on no tips on Social Security, no tips on overtime?
No tax
No tax on tips,
and overtime.
no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security. How could you be against that? How could you be against them putting the family tax credit back to the 2000 instead of it falling to the 1? How could you be against lowering the corporate tax rate to 15% of stuff made in the U.S.? You know,
I can tell you why. I can tell you how.
I don't get it.
Because some polyamorous lesbian on CNN told them to be against it.
I don't get it. I don't get it. So
Because you hate a guy with such passion that you can't. It's like, it's a very simple analogy. It's separating the art from the artist. I think Kanye West has gone fucking nuts lately. But his music is still good. I can still objectively enjoy his music while objectively saying he's kind of wackadoo.
I don't listen. The only song I know is because your mom used to
What
make
about
me
Gold
watch
Digger?
that stupid show Glee was Gold Digger. That's
You don't
it.
know, like, M-Words in Paris, any of the stuff he's done with Jay-Z.
I don't even like Jay-Z.
He just tweeted a couple
I couldn't tell a Jay-Z song.
Jay-Z looks like a deep-sea fish. He looks fucking
He
insane.
looks like he come out of Finding Nemo.
He looks like one of those fucking fish with the puffy
The
face.
puffy face Jay-Z, the puffy face fish from Finding Nemo.
What was I going to say?
I
We were
don't.
talking about...
Everybody says he's good. I ain't
I like
never
Jay-Z.
heard shit of his.
He's pretty good. Jay-Z's good, but he looks fucking ridiculous.
Look, man, Jay-Z's not even better than a Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not. He's not better than the Wu-Tang.
But I think Eminem
You think he's better than Wu-Tang?
Yeah. Different, but better.
Well, he's not better than Eminem.
Makes a shit ton more money. I don't think any of the ones we just listed are better than Eminem.
No.
Eminem's fucking great.
Well,
He's
even
like-
if you listen to 50 Cent, he'll
He-
even say he's the best.
He's like our token wigger, you know? He's the best fucking
Stop,
white
don't
rapper.
say that word. I don't like that word.
Who
either.
was another good white rapper?
Don't
shit.
say Vanilla Ice.
The guy who sang Donald Trump, Mac Miller, who died from fentanyl-laced Percocets.
Third base was good.
But yeah, so what I was getting at is Kanye West tweeted something a couple weeks ago saying he would like suck his cousin's dick until he was 13.
Yeah, I heard that.
He's saying some crazy shit on the internet, dude.
That's fucked up, man. No, even 50 Cent says Eminem's the best. You listen to a lot of people, they like Eminem.
I loved it when 50 Cent was feuding with Floyd
Floyd?
Mayweather.
By not being able to read? Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Because he can't.
No, it's very funny. It's quite unfortunate, but
You know
it's
who
very
else
funny.
has a shit ton of money who can't read? R. Kelly.
Yeah, that's what they said.
He said he was depressed in prison because he couldn't read his fan mail. Well, maybe you shouldn't have raped all those underage girls then, buddy.
I'm gonna learn how to read.
But then when
yeah.
you knowing that he can't read and you go back and listen to his music, you go, oh yeah, this is from like a illiterate idiot.
Oh yeah.
I believe I can fly.
What's wrong with that?
I
How's that
believe
from-
I can touch the sky. That's not very thought-provoking, or intellectual.
I don't know how you figured out he's illiterate from that lyric.
Okay, well, you're missing the point.
Oh, okay. I thought the point was he did weird shit with underage girls.
You know who else did weird shit with underage girls?
Did he?
Diddy.
Prince Andrew.
Epstein, Prince Andrew.
Bill Gates.
Bill Cosby.
Bill Clinton.
A lot of bills.
Yeah.
Did you see Prince Harry now?
What's he complaining about now?
Tim Dillon shits on Prince Harry and
What-
Meghan
what
Markle
now?
all the time.
Well, they deserve it.
But Prince Harry was like doing an interview. The whole thing is because they set him up in the Buckingham Palace with a cottage and security, and he didn't want that. So he
Yeah.
went to America.
Yeah.
And he's asking them for security in America.
And it's no.
Tim Dillon said something funny. He's like, well, okay, you have enough money. You can buy your own security.
Right.
But maybe the first thing you should be doing is, not behaving so that people want to kill you.
Right.
Maybe think about that. But he's still bitching about wanting security, and his dad,
So no, right?
King George or whatever the fuck his name is, King
No.
who, whatever.
Oh,
He's
what's
dying
his
of
name?
cancer.
Charles.
King Charles. So his dad's dying of cancer, and he's still like, I would like to
Not anytime soon.
rectify the situation with him, because what the people in Canada taught me was to rectify situations.
They don't want
Such
nothing
a
to do with
fucking
him.
idiot. And then Piers Morgan.
He's a tool.
Piers Morgan tweeted, "I side with King Charles. Prince Henry is a treacherous. Prince Harry is a treacherous rat."
He is.
And then Tim Dillon pulled up. It was like, I agree with him. He's such an idiot,
I
dude.
agree 100%.
And Meghan Markle is a lunatic.
Well, she just tries to be,
She's a crazy person.
what's her name? Martha Stewart. It's so.
But Martha Stewart's a gangster.
You know what's funny? So here's the funny thing. I think she's probably the most attractive news lady out there, and that's Megyn Kelly.
You haven't seen any of the Latin American ones.
They don't beat Megyn Kelly, but she did a little spoof with a friend of hers on the Duchess of York, Meghan Markle's food prep kitchen time.
Her Netflix show.
sitcom? Yeah,
with Mindy Kaling.
But you ought to watch the one
so
Megyn
fucking
Kelly
fake.
did, the farcical one that she did.
Oh, she made a parody of it.
Oh, it was hilarious.
I'll have to check that out.
Especially when you realize her friend, she interviewed her friend for the section who did it with her, and her friend's a little bit more over the top than she is. But Megyn Kelly is very conservative, straight laced. She'll say some stuff that'll get you thinking.
I like her.
Oh no, I think she's great.
It's very rare you find someone that attractive as well as that intelligent.
Dude, she's the perfect combo.
But people are giving
she's quite beautiful and fetching, but she's wicked smart.
people are giving.
I
Tim
think
Dillon,
there's nothing sexier than a woman when she's wicked smart.
Sure, people are giving Tim Dillon a bunch of shit because he had on Candace Owens last week.
Yeah, she got a little goofy recently. What'd she do?
Well,
Why Ben Shapiro fire?
She's being anti-Semitic.
What'd she do now?
Well, no, she didn't get fired. He talked shit about her, not knowing it was being recorded, and then she left and did her own thing and became more successful. But the one thing she's doing is she's trying to be a voice for Henry Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein?
Harvey Weinstein.
She's saying he didn't do that
In
stuff?
support, yeah. She's saying he got framed. So she's trying to get him out of prison.
There was a lot of people saying he did that shit.
And she goes, yeah, and everyone's saying I'm anti-Semitic. Harvey Weinstein's Jewish. So she's kind of doing some weird shit, but it's funny. It's funny. It's not anti-Semitic like what Nick Fuentes says. Do you know who Nick Fuentes is?
No, but I don't want to be talking this
He's
stuff.
not good.
I really don't.
But I like Candace Owens. But everyone gave Tim Dillon shit because he had her on.
Yeah, but Tim Dillon's pretty
He's the
smart.
best.
His talk show is actually pretty good.
I
Not
think-
as good as Rogan, but he's
I
pretty
think
good.
he has the best podcast.
Nah.
Joe Rogan's fine, but he just acts dumb talking to smart people. Matt and Shane is the highest grossing podcast. But
I like Andrew Huberman and that Chris Williamson guy.
Huberman's
He's funny.
fine. He's a pimp. I told you about the Sean Ryan show yesterday. You should really watch that.
I would.
Because he's got killers on that show who just openly disclose, mostly openly disclose.
We could do that.
There's a new season of Love on the Spectrum that I've been watching.
How is that? Because I try to get your mom to watch that, but she
You know,
won't
it's
watch
kind
it.
of sad, but it's also a guilty pleasure.
It's heartwarming, right?
Yeah, there are times where it's heartwarming, but it's also it's fun to watch them go on dates with each other.
Yeah, so let me ask you
and
a
be
question.
highly socially awkward.
If you knew everything you know now, and you could come from like a really upper middle class, upper class, because those people aren't poor on that show.
Hell no, they're not poor.
So let's
And
say
they're getting paid
you
to
come
be
from
on
a
it.
rich family.
But you're autistic.
Yeah, but they take care of you. And then you get to experience life in that like joyful manner.
Fuck yeah, dude. I wouldn't have to have a job. I could
Yeah.
fucking pretend to be a Jedi all day.
Yeah.
You bet. Ask women what kind of trains they like. Fuck yeah, dude. In a heartbeat.
And then find an
I would
and
honestly-
then find an autistic woman who becomes your
Hell
girlfriend
yeah,
and your wife.
dude. That autistic pussy probably grips.
Oh.
I'd honestly
I don't know about
I'd
none of
honestly
that.
take a lower socioeconomic class as long as I'm provided for by the family, just to be autistic. Because then I don't have to do
See-
taxes.
See, you know,
You know, I can be on a TV show.
that is exactly, ladies and gentlemen, the difference between this generation
What?
and
That
that
you don't want to
generation.
be autistic? If
I
you-
think about it, but I wouldn't leap at it.
would you rather be
You
autistic
leaped at it.
or would you rather have Down syndrome? I'd honestly go full
No,
out with Down.
autistic.
I'd go full out with Down syndrome.
No, I do autistic.
Because then I could meet John Cena. You know, I could play in that basketball game. Hooters sponsors.
you had to do autistic if you had the choice.
Do you see this? The original.
But I'd rather struggle in a normal body and stuff than give up and make that choice.
All autistic kids go to heaven, so I immediately get a card to heaven,
That's
so
the
I don't have to
difference.
worry about that.
Your generation is so much lazier.
But I'm not out here taking handouts, right? Like I'll work.
No,
obviously.
you take a handouts from your parents who would be covering everything.
No, that's not true. I've been covering shit in a.
No, I
plethora
mean
of
if you
different
were
ways.
the autistic solution.
Oh yeah, I'm saying now.
Oh, okay.
But if I was autistic, hell yeah, I'd take a fucking allowance at 28. I'd go to Comic-Con every year.
Oh, I'm gonna do. Oh, we got to
I
do that
cosplay. If I'm autistic,
Okay,
I can
listen.
get a pass for being a furry.
at the end of this month. at the Chantilly Expo Center is a Comic-Con.
Let's go.
We got to go.
That's the best place that people watch.
And let's find. I told your mom that we're gonna do this, and she's actually gonna come with us.
We got to dress her up though.
We got to find. No. We also have to find a flat Earth convention.
Yes, I love those.
We got to go.
I kind
I was
of.
explaining to your mom what those people were, and she couldn't understand
Well, so
how you
there's-
could be that stupid.
There's kind of two groups of flat Earth believers. There's the religious ones who believe because of Genesis to talk about the firmament. They believe that's why the Earth is flat, and then there are the ones who are just stupid. So there's New Age Christians and like idiots.
I don't know how any Christian thinks the Earth is flat.
Well, there are New Age Christians who think the Earth is like 20,000 years old. And dinosaurs never existed.
That's not true.
Yes, obviously not true. But there's a group of Christians, New Age Christians, who think the Earth is flat. It's 20,000 years old. Dinosaurs never happened. Carbon dating is BS.
That's not true.
Just make sure he doesn't,
All right.
because you
No,
can
we're
see
watching.
the
He's
mouse.
fine.
I can't
We'll
see
go
the
from there.
mouse.
All
But
right.
here's the kicker. We should definitely do the Comic-Con thing and the Flat Earth thing, but we got to tell Mom she has to dress up if she comes to Comic-Con.
No.
So we'll give her some stupid outfit.
No. Well, but let her
But
make a
The
T-shirt.
kicker about Flat Earthers is you ask them, well, what about the other planets and the moon? Well, those are all spheres, but the Earth is flat, covered by a giant ice wall.
Well, that's the thing I like the most is the Antarctic ice wall.
The ice wall.
You can't get through, and the Nazis got through in 1939 or something, and they're on the other side and all the major nations of the world know about it, and they're all in this jungle habitat.
There's a
On the other side of the wall.
Agatha or something. That's the Hollow Earth theory.
Yeah, that's where King Kong lives.
Yeah, Middle Earth. That's silly too.
That's the Hobbit stuff.
It's interesting you mentioned the Nazis because they were very fascinated in the macabre
The cult.
and the occult. But they were trying to get like vampires and demons and
They were
werewolves
doing
and
everything,
shit.
man.
They were
That's why that Indiana Jones movie is so good.
the Crystal
first one.
Skull,
No, the first one.
because the Crystal Skull sucked.
Yeah, no, the first one. All right, let's go into the book chapters real quick.
Can I say one more thing about Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
The game that came out There was an Indiana Jones game, The Great Circle.
Never heard of it.
It came out like 8 months ago. It's about to come out on PlayStation.
Never heard of it.
Okay. Regardless, it was phenomenal. And the opening scene, the opening level, was that scene when Temple of Doom, when he was going in and he had to run out because he was getting chased by the boulder. So that was cool to see
That
that
wasn't Temple of
recreated
Doom.
too. Or whatever one it was.
That was the first one.
Sure, whatever the first one was named. But that was a really good one.
It was.
A lot of good video games.
It was
lately.
what the Ark of the Covenant. What was the first
The
one
Ark of
called?
the Covenant was like the third.
Indiana Jones. The Temple of Doom was the second one. The Last
Crusade.
Crusade was the third one. Skulls was the fourth one.
We're gonna
Ark of
get
the
lost.
Covenant.
We're gonna get lost if we think about
Yeah,
it. But this one was the Ark of the Covenant, the game. You had to find these.
that would have been the first movie.
You had to find these like 10 pieces.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
There you go. There was the actual Ark of the Covenant at the end of the game,
Okay.
and Noah's Ark too. So that was really cool to see
Oh.
in the video game.
Okay.
It was underground.
All right.
One more thing.
Jesus.
What do you mean, Jesus? All right, I'll stop talking. See how far you get.
No.
Go ahead.
What do you? I don't care about the Ark.
All I was gonna do was ask you if you think Atlantis existed, and you have to be all
No, I think Atlantis.
feminine on me.
I don't think Atlantis is an underground city, but I do think it existed, like Plato said, and I think it existed in North Africa.
It was never underground.
I think it was in North Africa
just underwater.
when the Sahara was before the Sahara became a desert,
The Eye of Africa.
which would have been like 2,000
You're thinking
years
of
ago.
the Eye of Africa,
Mhm.
because I actually tried to write a report about that in college, and my professor said, stick to things that are proven. I'm like, well, fuck you.
Yeah, but you
How do you
watch
know
that
the
now?
Eye of Sahara wasn't the Atlantis?
Well, there was a guy that came on Rogan's show and they talked about that. I watched that one for about a half hour. And
I
that was
think
worth
that
watching.
shit's cool. I mean, there's giant people.
I think that shit happened, man.
There's giant people under the Great Canyon. Did you hear about that?
Yeah,
Like
we
18-foot
talked
skeletons?
about that about 10 episodes ago. But
I love conspiracies.
yeah.
It's always a conspiracy until
But the
it's proven
Sahara was
true.
supposedly had lush vegetation at one time.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
There-
All right. Let's go to the two books real quick. The first one. Oh shit!
Yeah,
no,
you
I was
were
gonna say
those were the ones you wrote down from last
that's
week.
Familiar
Man.
from last time. So the first one is chapter 49, which is expand your knowledge base, right? So that's what we've been talking about here most of the time. You know, I find it fascinating that some of you guys will burn a weekend watching I've done it.
A TV show.
But no, yeah, through a whole series on Netflix.
It's called binge
or
watching.
or you'll binge watch like the Indiana Jones or
all the Lord of the Rings
Hobbits,
movies,
Lord of the Rings, or
Star Wars.
the Star Wars. But start taking deep dives on YouTube on historical stuff.
Yeah.
Or learn something about finances.
Alan
Or
Watts.
learn some philosophy.
About the mind.
But if you want to learn everything you want to know about the Crimean War, do that.
I
you
love
you
that.
want to do that about the Civil War, World War I, World War II,
That's some of my
the
favorite shit.
Napoleonic Wars.
Just go down rabbit
Yeah.
holes on historical events.
You want to
or
learn about the Falkland
stuff about the
Islands?
subconscious.
You could take a 2-hour class on the Falkland Islands to know everything
Or
you need to
Reddit's about to jump on top of
Or the
He's about to jump on
conquistadors.
top of your box. Oh,
know. He didn't make it.
oh no.
So that's the expand your knowledge base. And
You know
then,
what's also good for that too is psychedelic drugs too.
Okay,
That's a
stop.
good way to
Enough of
expand
that.
your knowledge.
or chapter 23, which is chasing joy, finding happiness with purpose. And you know, one of the things we talked about, we're laughing at the animals here. I have joy every day caring for my animals.
You say that every podcast.
No, but you know, everybody should have an animal. Now I'm saying a cat or a dog, not a hamster or a gecko or a bird of any kind. You don't even need a horse.
I'm a
And
hermit.
if you can't do that, get yourself a fish. And if you can't do that, get yourself a plant.
I'm a hermit.
I think if
so
you take care of something-
I prefer animals over humans.
I think if you take care of something, it goes a long way.
I was thinking about getting a snake, but I think it would fuck with or get fucked with by my cats.
No.
I think if there's a snake in my house, Bingus would be petrified.
Yeah. Well, they're not meant to live together
Hello, Delilah.
because one of them's the prey.
I could get a parrot,
So.
but then it'd get eaten.
All right. And then the only health hack, you know, we could talk about this all the time because there's millions of ways to do it, but you got to build muscle. The more muscle you have, the better. And for me, I'm almost 58. I got to get as much muscle on me before I'm 60.
Take
Because
steroids.
I'm going to have to.
You really should.
There's like Ben Greenfield did this thing. He went to Costa Rica and he took some protocol for a week while he was down there.
Mm-hmm.
And in the next
They do stem cells down there too.
either 30 or 60 days, might have been 90, but it was short, 30, 60, or 90. I think it was 60. He put on 15 pounds of muscle.
What the hell?
Yeah. I want to do that. I want to like drop another 5 to 10% body fat, keep lifting, and then go do something where you throw on like 15, 20 pounds of muscle inside of 3 months.
You would look so stupid.
And then
jacked.
hold that.
You would look ridiculous. Jacked.
I'd just be a little bigger up top.
It would be funny. You should do that. If you're getting steroids somewhere out of the country, you might as well get stem cells too. So there are places that do both of them.
Do all that. No, I just need Exosome.
But you can get HGH. You're no offense, but you're old enough for HGH.
Yeah, but I'm not going to pay thousands of that.
I think it's covered by your healthcare.
Yeah,
TRT is
might,
covered.
But I can't test into it. They're not going to get. I'm like 919 right now.
All right, just bomb your fucking testosterone level.
No, that's too dangerous.
Do they make you do the test in front of them?
All you got to do is go to one of these wellness doctors. They'll
Make
give it to
mom.
you no matter what.
Make mom piss
But I
in
don't
a
need
cup.
I don't need HGH because I can get enough of that on my own with the sauna and all that. I need to exploit that first.
Okay, then get TRT.
But those are some of the health hacks. All right, listen, we're going to go to top 5 real quick. The first one is top 5 action heroes.
Okay.
Now, I think this might be a dialogue we can have. I think we're both going to have to agree. Number 1
John Wick.
is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Not movie, actor. Keanu Reeves is not the number 1 action hero of all
Number
time.
1. Well, okay, I put Bruce Willis over Arnold. I put Jason
No.
Statham over Arnold.
No, Arnold's got all the big movies.
No, from
And
like
Sly-
30 fucking years ago.
Sly would be number 2.
Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
Terry Crews in The Expendables is
No.
better than Arnold.
I
All right,
put-
so who's your top
all right,
5?
so I put Bruce Lee at number 5 because when he
I
was
didn't even think of him.
because
That's a
when
good
he
one.
was on, he was good. I put Mel Gibson in there for all the Lethal Weapon movies and stuff.
Fair enough.
I put Steve McQueen with a little tip to the old timers with Bullet and Papillon and The Great Escape. I put Sly at number 2 only because I thought Terminator was better than Rambo.
Yeah, but Terminator isn't the greatest action movie of all time.
Predator's better.
Eh,
You name me a Schwarzenegger movie better than Predator or the Terminator.
I can't, but those still aren't the 2 best action movies.
What's better than the Predator?
A lot of things are better than The Predator.
Aliens,
John
but
Wick
that's
is
not
better than The
but that's not an
Predator.
action movie.
Sicario is better than The Predator.
No.
Shit. Roadhouse. No, Roadhouse
Nah.
sucks. Roadhouse is terrible. All right, fine. I'll do my 5.
Those are like buddy guy movies. They're not action heroes.
I'll do Jean-Claude Van Damme as number 5.
Yeah, he could be in there.
I'll do Bruce Lee as number 4.
Don't put Seagal in
little
there.
tip. Oh, fuck it. Dude, he's so fat in his new. I'll have to restart. But
But that first movie he did, Above the Law.
But did you
that
see
was a
him
good
run?
one.
You see how
Yeah,
he runs?
He runs like his retarded.
His newest movie. He's so
He runs
fat.
like a girl.
He's seated in 90% of the movie, and they had to bring in a body double when he carried his injured comrade up a flight of stairs because he was too fat to do it. All right, top 5 action hero actors. Number 5, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Number 4, Bruce Lee. Number 3, Jason Statham. Number 2, and you're gonna hate this, Vin Diesel. And then number 1, I can't do Keanu Reeves. I can't do Arnold Schwarzenegger. Mr. T.
I thought you'd say Chuck Norris.
Oh, I forgot about Chuck Norris.
Talking about Chuck and Arnold and Sly.
Sylvester Stallone. Come on, he's not. I mean, what is he in? The A-Team and Rocky?
Rocky, Rambo.
Rambo. Sure.
All the Rambo
What
movies.
about
Expendables?
what about John Bernthal?
His portfolio's not big enough.
He needs to be in more action movies.
You know, I did fall asleep in that Accountant 2 movie. My Fitbit said I was out for like 37 minutes.
What the fuck, man?
That's why I didn't understand what happened at the end.
Yeah, you come out of the movie and you're like, well,
How'd they find those kids?
how did that woman?
And why is that woman trying to kill him?
Why is that woman trying to kill him? And why are they looking for children? That was set up in the last 35 minutes. Oh, maybe I fell asleep. Dude,
I fell asleep.
I'm sure it was a little long, but I like that movie.
All right, now we'll do the next one. What's your
Top 5 states.
top 5 baseball players?
Top 5 baseball players. I don't even know 5. I'll do Mickey Mantle at 5.
All right.
Pete Rose at 4.
All right.
Barry Bonds at 3.
Yeah.
Aaron Judge at 2. And then that Japanese dude. I don't want to mispronounce his name.
Which one?
Ohori Otani or whatever.
Oh,
The Otani guy. On the
Otani guy
Dodgers.
playing now?
Is he on the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Everyone was giving the MLB shit because he wasn't the captain of the USA team.
He's not American.
Yeah, I mean, he's Japanese.
Japanese.
So,
So
Aaron Judge.
I don't know. I got
shit. Who was
older guys.
Papa Ortiz or whatever was good.
Big Poppy, yeah.
Who's the one with the home run record who was on a shit ton of steroids?
Who, McGuire?
He has the home run record?
Barry Bonds had it.
Was it Bonds?
Bonds got the record.
I thought it was a Haitian.
No, that was Sammy Sosa. He's Dominican.
Sammy Sosa. Okay.
So, all right. So mine is for number 5 for me. I'm taking Roberto Clemente. He was probably the greatest right fielder of all time. You wouldn't have known him. He died in a plane crash going to Nicaragua, I think, in the early 70s. Number 4 for me is the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays.
Don't know him.
He was, I think, the best center fielder of all time. I'm partial. I'm going to throw a catcher in there. And my favorite catcher is Johnny Bench.
Johnny Bench called.
For the Big Red Machine, so I'm going to have to go with that. I'm going to go with a pitcher. And the second best pitcher I liked was Nolan Ryan, big fastballer. But I'm going to go with Bob Gibson. He owned the 60s. I liked him better than Koufax just because he was mean. He couldn't be a coach because he was too mean.
How did we forget about Jackie Robinson?
Yeah, and he was good. And my number 1 guy, just because it's mine, is I'm going to take Cal Ripken.
Okay.
But you could take Babe Ruth, Ted Williams,
Babe Ruth, yeah, but he
Stan Musial.
pair him up against guys nowadays.
You put them in there. People say Mike Schmidt, but he's not at number 1. I like George Brett better than Mike Schmidt anyways.
Did you just rip a fart?
He can't pick it up. They wouldn't have known if you didn't say nothing.
They wouldn't have known. You're over here going, come on, man.
You won't even be able to
I like
clip
in
it.
Archer.
We'll clip that. You fought it.
I like how Sterling Archer calls Lana Johnny Bench because of her hands.
Big hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know Johnny Bench, there's a picture of him. He had 8 baseballs in one hand.
No fucking way.
He was holding 8 of them in one hand.
Dude, I'd be lucky to get 3.
He got them between the fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4 between the fingers, and he had 4 in his palm.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's a big hand.
That's why he called her Johnny Bench. Look at that picture next time.
Crazy.
That's famous. All right. So my books, I don't know. You got to pick a book.
Dude, I don't have a book. Rainbow Fish. Remember that children's book with the scales
No.
that were shiny?
Oh, we're going to do children's books. I'm going to have to go to Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham.
Okay, Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham. That works too.
What's yours?
I just said it.
Hop on Pop?
No, I just said it. Rainbow Fish.
Oh, okay.
But you could do
One fish, blue fish, 2 fish.
One fish, 2
blue
fish, red fish, blue fish. Where the wild things are, the Lorax.
The Laura, Wild Things Are in Dr. Seuss.
Dude, I know, but still, you remember the one?
What was the one that the two guys that had like that Mexican standoff? Were those
I don't know.
the Stitches were the ones with the different colored bellies?
Yeah, you know which one I
I
like?
taught about racism
Remember the one I got you?
from a guy who was really racist.
I know, right? Remember the one I got you? Go the fuck to sleep. That's
I
narrated
got
by
you that
Samuel L.
from
Jackson.
Sam Jackson. I got that for you.
That's a great one,
Yeah,
too.
you guys gotta listen to that one. Go to Fuck to Sleep by narrated by Samuel Jackson.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I like that. Captain Underpants was good.
I like Encyclopedia Brown.
Encyclopedia Brown.
Curious George.
Nancy Drew, The Hardy Boys.
You like Curious George?
Curious George is good. Where's Waldo? That's not really.
You liked Arthur.
That's not really a book, though.
The Berenstein.
Berenstein, yeah,
Not
that's
the Bernstein.
that's the Mandela effect
Berenstein
right there.
Bears.
There was a good episode of Black Mirror on the Mandela effect.
Mm-hmm.
Bridge of Terabithia, was that a or was that a second fart?
No,
Oh, okay. Yeah, Bridge of Terabithia, surprisingly good movie.
I never seen that.
Any of the original Disney books, because the Disney books were pretty graphic when they
I'll have
were
to look at it.
first written.
Oh, hey, speaking of which, so for anybody, these two are both rescues. So this is a public service announcement for rescue animals. Miss Sweet Delilah here was rescued. Her mother was on a rape stand for years, and that was her fate, and we rescued her. There's a great story behind that. I would share it one time. And Mr. Riddick was rescued. I remember he was the cat that jumped out at me when we went to see like 8 cats. And he was like the fourth or fifth cat we've rescued, and they turned out to be good. I did tell your mom, however,
If you're gonna rescue a dog, get a greyhound.
I'm not
'cause
gonna.
they're-
I know.
all those dog racing tracks are.
Yeah, but you got to let
retired.
them run. And I, although I walk the dogs every day, which would be great,
Retired-
I can't let them run. But this is the dog
The
I'm going to
retire
get.
ones are really cool.
The new kind. So Sammy's about 4 times as big as Delilah,
At least
maybe 5
6.
times. So the next the next dog I'm going to get is going to be 5 times Sammy's size. Now for everybody, Samson's the black dog whose head's
So
about
what?
here.
It's like
his
250
back's here,
pounds.
and he's about 45 pounds. No, this dog will be about 205, 215 pounds.
What kind of dog?
Irish Wolfhound.
Okay. When are you gonna get it?
It depends.
Where do you even get
work,
those from?
If work lines up right in the next 6 months, I'll have it before Christmas.
Where do you even get those from? Because that's specialized for sure.
I'll have to ship it in from Ireland or find the best breeder here.
Well, shit. Maybe we
Those horses, they're like horses. man.
time it with our trip to Ireland. Just bring the puppy back with us.
Maybe we do that. I'll talk to your mom about that.
I don't know if you. I don't know the legality of importing a
You
dog.
can.
Okay.
Pick it up and they'll do all the shots and everything for you. We'll bring the fucker back with us. We can bring him on a plane.
Yeah.
Bigger than Delilah at 8 weeks.
It's hey. I mean, it'll be quieter than a fucking baby. I hate babies on a plane.
They're
I'm
terrible.
sorry. I know you got to get to places. Maybe you put the babies in like a baby section, like how there used to be a smoking section.
And then the people who put their feet, take their shoes off.
Oh,
And then people who eat nasty food.
I've done that.
I
Have
don't
you
like
ever
that.
jerked off on a plane?
No. And I don't like when people knee the back of your chair. And
That's the worst.
no, the absolute worst for
The
me
kids kicking.
is when you're sitting there and you're
Fuck you.
relaxed and the uncoordinated fucker behind you gets up and puts their hand on the back of your seat and jams it.
I've had a fat guy trip into me, and like his belly went in my face while I'm like watching a movie, and it happens. Oh, what the fuck, man!
Well, that's why I will make a confession. That's why I don't mind farting on airplanes.
I fart on airplanes all the time.
I fucking rip it.
I time it for when fat people get up, so I can. If I've never been accused of farting, but people our size,
Yeah.
we don't get accused of farting on planes.
You know what the best thing is?
What you could sneak that on a fat person.
If I'm like in if I'm in first class, like rows 4 or 5, if I use my points and I upgrade, I like to get out of my aisle seat
Take a walk down to the plebs
and walk down to the bathroom
in the back or the front.
in the front
Okay.
and just carpet bomb the first 4 rows.
I paid first class to get farted on. What the hell?
Yeah, fucking carpet bomb the shit out of people.
I've sat next to children when I've had terrible indigestion, and I'm ripping like catastrophic egg farts next to this like kid who isn't old enough to be polite. He's like looking around. What the? At one point, he like turned to his mom. And goes, "Mom!" Well, hey, that's your problem.
Well, the best thing you could do is
It's always
carpet
weird.
bomb an elevator and walk out.
Yeah. Well, you do that all the time. You fart in an elevator when people get in, and then you
You know what the
intentionally
worst
get
thing
off.
is? The worst thing is when you can't help yourself
Dutch oven.
and you have to destroy one of those unisex public bathrooms,
Oh, I
right?
take pride in that.
And then as soon as you walk out, You make eye contact with the next person walking in.
And go, oh, good luck in there.
Yeah, I've actually said that to
I'm
somebody.
about to take a she-it in the they-them bathroom.
I've actually said that to some people. I said, "Oh, good luck with that."
I took a massive shit.
Or I wouldn't go in there.
You know those shits where it's falling out when you're going to sit down?
Yeah, you can't even quite make your ass all the way
You
down.
can't just
can't
a
make
split,
contact.
just a split
Yeah.
second. I've come out after those and walked to someone and said, "Good luck in there, man. You're gonna need it." There's another fart. Perfect.
Is that
Next time you fart,
is that mustard?
is that onions? Okay,
Onions?
I can taste it.
Mustard?
I can
And
taste
it tastes
it
the
now.
ketchup now. Yeah, I can taste.
All right, now the tuxedos seem pretty fucked up.
Yeah. And with that, we can still got bitch of the week. I don't know who to pick.
You know, I'll go bitchless this week. I'll give
Yeah.
everybody a break from my fire and brimstone.
I
That
think
one's really fucked up that
Oh,
bad.
wait a second. I'm gonna have to take your guy and retire him.
Who? Lance
Lance
Stroll?
Stroll. Because
Fuck you, Lance Stroll!
He could have get out of Q3.
You fucking suck!
Disclaimer for Generations Unplugged with Big Kel and Kahuna. This is a podcast created for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed in this podcast reflect the personal experiences and opinions of the hosts and guests. Topics like health, fitness, financial well-being, and personal development are discussed based on individual perspectives and are not intended as professional medical, financial, or psychological advice. Listeners are encouraged to consult with qualified professionals before making decisions related to health, lifestyle, or finances. Each person's journey is unique, and results may vary. The creators of Generations Unplugged disclaim any liability for actions taken based on the content of this podcast. Remember, informed decisions and expert guidance are key to building a fulfilling and balanced life.